Rightio team, welcome to episode 19 of Yarns with Beef and Matt, brought to you by LSKD and Frog Grips. I'm Matt.
And I'm Beef.
And today we are joined by none other than homegrown hero, multiple regional level appearances, games appearance in 2019, and owner of a couple of CrossFit affiliates here in New Zealand, Mr. Luke Fiso. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, man.
Pleasure.
Yeah, man. Busy man. How's your morning today? Let's start there, man.
Yeah, good. Woke up like strangely early, lying in bed, awake at for me, 6 a.m. I fall asleep at 12, so just lay in bed for a good while, and then had some breakfast, did workout.
Yeah.
Answered all the Dean Flute's messages.
There's a few chats going on at the moment, eh?
Oh, I can't keep up, man.
Workaholic, eh? I mean, I thought I was bad, but he takes the cake.
Yeah, no, he's into it, man. He's into it. Anyway, we'll dive into this. The way we like to start these things off is to, obviously, you're a bit of a CrossFit beast in the scene here. But before CrossFit, the younger Luke Fiso, what was he like growing up? What was he into?
Girls and spending too much time doing his hair, honestly, man.
Oh, how good.
Clown. He was a clown. But I mean, in terms of sports and stuff, rugby, obviously, being a New Zealander, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And spend a decent amount of time trying to crack it.
Yeah.
Played rep teams, Wellington reps, and probably the furthest I went was with the Wellington 7 squad, and then rolled my ankle the day before playing flag. Rolled my ankle the day before our big qualifier tournament, North Islands. Played like shit, and then that was about it for me.
Yeah. Oh, far out, man. So you've always been in Wellington. You grew up in Wellington. That's you.
Yeah. Grew up in Wellington. Always lived here. Looking for a way out, but I don't know. Something keeps pulling me back.
Yeah.
The wind.
Yeah, just
you can't get out.
When I was there for Class of Threes, that's the first time I've ever been to Wellington.
The planes just divert and shit. They don't want to land here.
Bro, I was out the window. I was like, bro, there's no airport there, eh? You sure you got the right spot?
Yeah,
that was the hardest landing I've ever done in my life, man.
Yeah, you feel it, eh? It just throws you.
It's crazy.
Throws you forward because they got to slam the brakes on, otherwise they'll go into the water.
Yeah, it's crazy. One flight coming into Wellies, I remember looking out the window down the runway as we're landing.
That's never good.
So last second, he corrected the plane, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucked, man.
It's actually epic. I think those guys are legends for landing in some of the conditions they do.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. After that, man, my algorithm on Instagram, it was just hectic plane landings because I just started searching it. I was like, bro, there are some good pilots out there, man. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But
they get paid so good.
Yeah.
Speaking of flights, what have you been up to lately, bro? You've been over in the islands.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, my wife Emma, she's pregnant, and so we're now into the third trimester. So the idea was, let's get out of here and do something, just the two of us, before we have no more free time ever again.
Yeah.
Fair play. Congratulations too.
Mate. Yeah. Well done. Is that your first kid, obviously?
Yep, first one.
Nice.
Other than the 2 dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard kids are a bit different than dogs. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Figure it out.
Anyway, I bet you people listening didn't think we'd be talking about planes landing, but what we'll do is we'll move on to the CrossFit, eh? When did you get started in that? We've got 2014 on your games profile. Was that when it kicked off, or was it a bit before that?
It was literally November 2013. I did my level 1. I hadn't done CrossFit, and someone talked about it, and I was like, I need to learn more. I'll go do the level 1. So I went to level 1 November 2013 up in Auckland.
Yeah.
And then open, was that February 2014?
Yeah, back then it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was maybe my 10th CrossFit workout, the first workout I did. That was hectic, but it was a way different level back then, it was really grassroots-ish. I wouldn't say fully grassroots, but you could get away with a bit more, or a lot less skill and capacity than nowadays. And I did, and the first workout was light snatches. and double unders, and I don't mind the double under.
Yeah.
And the snatches were 35 kilos, like not heavy enough to be an issue. And I didn't really. I thought I did really well. I came 10th in the region for that workout. And I was like, man, this is easy. Like, I'm going to fly through this.
Yeah.
And then the next workout they had chest to bars in it, and I cracked my chin on the bar and like overhead chest to bar squats. Yeah, I cracked my chin on the bar. I did the ugliest overhead squats and like failing 40 kgs. And that's what, it was cool. It was like awesome workout, first one, and then just humbling second workout. And then, I realized I needed a lot of work. So put in a decent year following that, and then made it to regionals the next year.
Yeah, I was going to say the next year was regionals, back when regionals was a thing.
I still say it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm showing my age.
Yeah, man. Well, you've been through it all, like regionals. You missed because there was sectionals. I remember that's like 2010.
That was like pull up and just sign up for day kind of thing.
Yeah. And then there was regionals, and then was it sanctionals, semifinals? Now, so you've been through a few different iterations.
Because that sanctionals period aligned with the national champ thing, which was a weird time for CrossFit. I mean, great for me, I got to go to the games, but a lot of, I don't know, when I say great for me, I got to go to the games, it also kind of sucked because it took away the traditional route of qualifying, and then diminished the achievement, I guess, in that year and even the following year, because it was like, you just got there because national champ, with all those other guys who probably would have never podiumed at the regionals or semifinals. Yeah. But I mean, who knows? Like, I'm not saying that I would have done it had it had been the traditional format, but I didn't get the chance. Like, there was no opportunity, really.
And then even the following year, 2020, they got rid of everyone. There was only 5 athletes there, so
just ended mid-COVID. They're like, nah, but that's fair enough. Like, no one would have been able to travel. So
on that year, the national champ year, like I remember watching it. It was the 400 meter run, the rope climb, and then the heavy squat snatches. That was how do you put this delicately? It was in my opinion, it was bad for the sport because you were watching like, not you, but like there was other national champs who were like, okay, like you can't squat snatch 80 kgs. It was a little. You're watching it. Oh, okay.
That's what I mean, though, man. Like, that was the feeling I think a lot of people had, especially like big fans of the sport. People that were new to it, they thought, "Oh, that's cool that there's everyone being represented." But guys like me that have been grinding away, or people that have been following the sport and they're really passionate about watching the fittest people on earth, they turn and watch that and they're like, I don't know, that's not really what I expected to see at the CrossFit Games.
There was that argument that was like, well, the Olympics gets every country. Well, no, they don't. There's a lot of sports that aren't represented by countries, and you do have to qualify. And when you're at the Olympics, people look and go, oh, they deserve to be there.
For sure, man. I mean, the other thing was like, there was still pretty unfair representation in terms of how it was skewed towards certain regions. And I don't want to offend anyone, so I'll just say that. But like, it's still a bit of a problem. But I think
I don't have to tiptoe around it.
That should have been there. You know what I mean?
I don't have to tiptoe around it, and I've said it on many ones. Like, there's a lot of regions that just get absolutely pushed to the side. And I know that people go, oh, there's more numbers in America. Yeah, well, match them up with our athletes, and we dust them 9 times out of 10. So the representation is an ongoing battle. We'll leave it there.
I mean, and the other thing is, I think the way that we all get compared at the end of the day is the CrossFit Games, and now they're using that ranking system. And I don't know if we're going to go deep into this stuff, but I think that's unfair too, because if you ask those guys to turn up in Australia, or even for me being from New Zealand, going to Australia and working out on that time zone, you know, I remember one year at Torian, they chucked us into a heavy clean and jerk ladder, and it was like essentially me lifting at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I'm going to be smoked and struggle with this weight. Like I normally train in the daytime, let alone 5 p.m.
Yeah.
And then now we're being asked on Aussie time to lift at 6, 7 o'clock or something. By the time I got out, it's like 6, 7 o'clock. So yeah, this is like 10 p.m.
Yeah. No, it's been like that.
And same thing with the Aussies, like going to it. And what I mean is like Aussies going to the States and having to adjust. Like you can do a bunch of stuff to try and acclimatize and to adjust, your circadian rhythm, but it's tough, man. And I've seen it work the other way when some of the US guys come to Australia and they go, they'll say openly, some of them have said openly, this shit's hard, man. Like I feel like I should be sleeping right now and I'm having to work out.
Yeah. I was optimistic that when they said they were changing venues that they were going to go to another continent, but they just went to a bigger state. Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Big changes.
Oh, huge changes. Another hour onto their drives, I guess. I don't know. Listen to us whinge.
yeah. I feel like a bit of I don't want to sound bitter or anything,
Oh, I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, it's profession. If they want to be, I've always said this, and I think Hiller, that guy Andrew Hiller, does it well as well. Like, he's like, if you want to be a professional sport, you're gonna have to handle the critics, and every critic deserves to have a voice within reason. So, I don't think we're saying anything that hasn't been said before, anyway.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely conversations everywhere about this stuff.
100%.
Oh well. So you're six-time fittest man in NZ?
I mean, I don't know. I forget because
there's that many.
I don't.
Oh, okay, Luke.
I ran out of fingers. But you also contribute
But the other thing is, like, I think there was a time when they started officially counting it, and then there's a time when it's like I was just tracking it on the leaderboard and being like, oh yes, I got first. I came first in the Open or for New Zealand. And in my mind, I forget where they counted it and where I was counting it.
Yeah.
I lead the board heavily. Like I'm the guy that's refreshing like on time.
Yeah.
No, it's all good, but it's setting by example. But you also could contribute to the community in many other ways, competitions, but also your affiliates. When did you first open your affiliate, Instinct Fitness?
So Instinct opened as a non-affiliate in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it lines up kind of with doing the level 1. I opened it. I did my level 1 after opening it, and then I was like, let's just go all in and go CrossFit. So I think it was 2014.
So was it open as a CrossFit gym?
It was 2014 that we did the Open as a non-CrossFit gym, and it was so painful with the video process and like all of that stuff. So in 2015 we affiliated. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm lost there, man. So you had no CrossFit experience. You're like, I'll open a gym, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll go get my level 1. How there must have been some background there. Someone was like, try this out. We're just like, fuck, it sounds good.
Yeah. Well, okay. So to be fair, like I worked in gyms since I was about 16.
Okay.
I was a personal trainer in a gym when I was studying at university, and one of the trainers mentioned CrossFit. It's quite funny. Like it was a chick actually. She mentioned CrossFit because her husband had started doing it at a local gym. She's like, oh, have you guys seen this? You should try it out. Or maybe we should check it out. And I pulled up a video, and I remember clearly it was this workout from the games with Matt Chan and Dan Bailey and Rich Froning. Like these guys were the legends back then. Yeah. Like they were the dogs. And it was a workout with, I believe it was 2K bike erg, not like C2 bike erg, it was whatever they were using back then. A bike erg, front squats at 100, and then monkey bars.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the big fucking monkey bar rig. I remember it, man.
Yeah. So they had like bike, front squat, and then monkey bar down and back, and do rounds of this workout. I actually thought that looks cool, but it also looks cheesy as shit. Like that doesn't look like a sport to me. So I put it on the back burner for years. And then this guy, I ended up actually training with him quite a bit, and eventually went and watched them compete in 2013. And then he convinced me, I guess, to at least learn more about it and then start coaching and get into it.
And you're like, I'll just dominate
Yeah, might as well. I was hard back then.
Straight away, I started watching Rich Froning videos, and I was like, I could beat this guy, I think, because he makes everything look so easy. You know, he's so chilled, and I was like, that doesn't even look hard. I'm sure I could outdo this guy.
Yeah.
What an idiot, eh?
Yeah. I think we all thought that at once. Back in 2013, we all thought that. Every male getting in was like,
Matt's still chasing Rich.
I'm getting him.
It's funny how I always think it's funny how like smooth and consistent and like relaxed he can look, and some guys make it look so hard. But you know, performance-wise, it depends on the person and what works for them.
Yeah.
Well, like Matt said, you've seen the sport grow in every iteration over the last few years. How do you see the landscape of CrossFit heading at the moment?
I actually think it's going in a really cool direction. I feel like COVID set it back a bit in terms of a big drop in participation, and people didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
If they can continue doing what they're doing and being really transparent with how the season's going to run and how it's going to be programmed, and showing, even though I didn't particularly like the programming, I could see the pattern that they were following and how it was progressing. So I think that's what people need. They need to know what's happening, what the sport is from the outside looking in, and then that gives them an easy way to jump in and try it out. If it's like confusing how to qualify, you know, some people get a free pass, some people don't. I think that ruined the sport for a couple of years. But yeah, going forward, I think it looks like it's in good hands, or better hands than it was, and it's going in a pretty cool direction. I'm seeing lots of local guys and girls that are starting to get really into it and really competitive, and it's quite exciting. So yeah, I think for New Zealand, it's going to be pretty cool over the next few years.
Yeah, I asked that because I've been watching sort of like Craig Ritchie and Andrew Hiller. They're doing the analytics on, and then they've put those clickbaity titles out, CrossFit is dying. And I think a lot of their stuff just comes down to like search volume and just pretty much just heavily on the search engine sort of stuff. So do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I've seen. I think I saw an email come through from Mayhem as well, like the exact same subject. I think it is that thing of like, oh my God, like these guys who have built their brand on CrossFit are saying this. But if you look into it, I think what they're saying is the old version of CrossFit, like what we knew of CrossFit if we started in 2013 or 2007 when the game started, or even way back in 2001, like that's changed significantly. And it's cool because it's becoming more professional and bigger brands are coming, and even locally, the competition standard is getting much higher. I think talking to some guys that are in either Australia or even some of the owners I know in the States, the grassroots kind of come and throw down type comps aren't really happening as much anymore. And those professional, really well run, really well organized events, pretty much the only opportunity people are going to get nowadays. So you have to be good in order to get there.
Yeah.
You know, Wadapalooza or Dubai or something like that. You can't just do like 20 low-level comps and try and pick up a couple grand each weekend anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy because from my own personal perception, just coming up, because I'm still pretty new to the sport. But when I was coming up, when I was first introduced to it, it was just more as a S&C to help with my other sports, basketball, rugby, and all the other. But you see a lot of young people coming through now, like the Haley Adams, the Mal O'Briens, people that have been doing it for years before you see them on the scene, and they're just so good. Like they're doing CrossFit to do CrossFit. So yeah, I sort of thought it was kind of the opposite. It's becoming a lot more mainstream and growing, but yeah, just an interesting topic.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is though. It's like these kids that they don't know any different, and there are lots of opportunities for them out there, but it just looks so different to what it was like, even for someone like me. That, you know, and some of those guys that you mentioned, like they're probably a little bit further into it. And so for them, it looks so different that they're going, oh, CrossFit's dying. Like my version of CrossFit's dying. Yeah, that's okay. Like it's not going to be like that forever, and it has to change. I think people just got to be a little bit more accepting of change.
I think it's worth noting too, and a lot of people oversee this, is that CrossFit is a brand new sport. Like it is. Okay, 2001. Yeah. Like it's been going a while, but okay, compare it to rugby, 1800. You know what I mean? Like it's brand new. I'm pretty sure rugby was probably pretty shit back then too, in the 1800s. So, you know, like it is.
I mean, I've just started watching rugby again for the first time in a few years with the World Cup, and man, the game's changed. Like, I don't know some of the rules these days, or like just the style of play is so different to what I was used to back in 2010.
Yeah,
like, and that's rugby.
Yeah. Same with like football. Like my main sport is the one with your feet. You know, that soccer, I think they call it. Like my main sport's footy. I grew up in the 90s in England, and like watching the style of football there, it was very aggressive. It was a contact sport, contrary to popular belief. It was very contact back in the 90s, and like just to see where it is now, like how much that game has it's always, every sport is going to grow and it's going to become more professional, and CrossFit's no different. And I think the burnout people are seeing now is they go, oh, CrossFit's bad, it burns you out. It's like, no, lots of sports have that same burnout. We're just only exposed to CrossFit, so that's what we're seeing. And I think you know, people, we're going to learn not only the professional side but also how to balance your life with CrossFit as well. I think it's all growing, and it's looking good. Like, in my opinion, it's not dying. It's gonna be good.
It's just different, right? It's just different to what people are used to.
Yeah, hard out.
I don't know if you've had much experience with it, just going back to the young people coming up in the sport, but do you think CrossFit is a good sport for young people to be sort of committing their life to so young, how that we seem to be seeing them doing now?
Like, I mean, I've looked into this pretty heavily because I'm super passionate about developing young athletes, and one of my favorite books is this book called Gold Mines, and it's basically how to create a world-class environment for athletes growing up and becoming champions. So the idea is that you want to have a couple of things, like these are key things that occur in every single gold mine, like Jamaican sprinters, Russian tennis players. They don't even use the example, but I think of New Zealand rugby players.
Yeah.
And it's this thing that they're exposed to a ton of different stimulus, you know, different sports, different environments, different skills. That's one of the key things. And I think that while CrossFit, you know, people say, oh, that would be bad if you then put them straight into CrossFit. All they did was CrossFit. I think CrossFit actually provides that if it's not done in a way that's putting all this pressure on the athlete to just do CrossFit. You know, if they can do CrossFit as their GPP program and also play basketball, play tennis, go swimming, do gymnastics, that's epic. And then I think specifically within New Zealand, growing up, I don't do any weightlifting at all. I went on this trip for the New Zealand University's rugby team, and we played the States, and those guys were beasts. And I know what, you know, their high school weightlifting programs, these kids are cleaning, like I've seen videos of these 16-year-olds cleaning 180 kgs.
Yes,
you know, and think of what could have happened with some of our rugby players, or even with myself, if I had just touched a barbell before I turned 16.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't even touch a barbell, let alone do cleans and squats. I did curls in my garage with this like cheap bar that I twist, you know, like twist lock it from Rebel Sport. Like, that was my experience of weightlifting for the first 3 years of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that like growing up in this country, like stuff like Laszlo's hierarchy of needs, like Vicky Sanchi's style of training, you know, like all that kind of stuff, and it's not new, but it seems like New Zealand is and still is so far behind, like where all these other programs and systems are.
Like Bondarchuk's GPP, SPP, to me, I try and tell that to my athletes all the time. In season, out of season, you want to have your GPP as it gets closer, SPP. And I think people forget that CrossFit is a GPP program, you know, yes, competing in CrossFit requires very specific styles of workouts and movements. But on a daily basis, I am a huge advocate for showing up and just doing the workout. Like, don't look at the workout, don't plan out your week too much. Just turn up and do the workout. If you're prepping for prepping for semifinals, then you're going to need to have a more structured plan and a strength cycle and a weakness. You know, maybe you have to do some weakness work on your gymnastics. that's different. That's totally different.
Yeah.
You know, a games athlete to a kid that's coming here 2 or 3 times a week and doing other sports.
100%, bro. Yeah, like I've stopped. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I used to put the programming on our gym system, whatever you want to call it. But I stopped that because, there's no need for it. I didn't do that when I first started CrossFit. You turned up, what was on the board is what you did. I think people, live too much on that. Oh, what's tomorrow? Who cares what tomorrow's workout is, man? Fucking turn up and do it. But on the athlete side, like I've got a few athletes at the gym, way different. They have a macro cycle that they work off of, and that's their thing. But if you're turning up to the gym, GPP, general physical preparedness, like that is CrossFit. Yes, okay, like today we're burpee broad jumps. So, burpee, why have I got to jump? Because fucking jumping is a very foundational part of being a fucking human. All right, so like let's keep jumping. Like because you never know when you need to.
But it's hard, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's hard. You got to get up off the ground. That's important. You got to learn to decelerate force. That's important. Like that stuff. Catching yourself on a fall. If you're doing jumping, you're going to get used to that stuff. So that's crazy important.
Yeah. Man, we can do our own podcast. We're excited about this stuff, eh?
We're nerding out. Yeah.
I live for it, man. Moving on from all that nerdy stuff. You're very busy at the moment. You've got your 2 CrossFit affiliates. They're both affiliated?
Yep.
So you got those 2, but you're also got your hands on a lot of competitions over here as well, mainly the cluster event series. How are you are you still trying to train as an elite athlete as well as, run 2 businesses and run those competitions successfully? How's that looking for you? Or are you taking a back step on the athlete side of things?
Yeah, for sure. Like I think one thing that people don't appreciate, some of the people that I've talked to or have come to me and said, I want to become a games athlete or even a semifinals athlete, is that the time that it takes not only to train, but to then also do your recovery and then the mental stress or just trying to stay relaxed in between sessions and preparing meals and all that stuff, that takes up more than 3 hours a day. Like 3 hours a day might be your time in the gym, but essentially it's a full-time job. I actually saw a post recently on, I think it was Morning Chalk Up or the games, and it talked about what do these guys do outside of CrossFit, outside of their training. And it was basically nothing, like these guys sit around, eat food, try and relax, and then go back and train. And as awesome as that sounds, it's actually really hard. Like some of these guys are very driven, motivated people. They have to be, and they want to get out and do stuff. But the best thing for them to be an athlete is to do that. And so I actually had a really good mentor, like a business partner earlier on, who said to me, do this while you can, like train while you can, be an athlete while you can, because it won't last forever. He kind of had that issue. He tried to chase everything at once. So that was sort of my MO for the first few years. Like do everything I can, try to block out, emails and growing, marketing the business and all that kind of stuff. It was not the best idea for business, but it did mean that I was able to train and do all my recovery and sit on the couch with the, what do you call those things? Compex thing and just like you can't do that if you've got people calling you. Like even on this call just now, I've had 2 people try and call me, and Dean being one of them.
Dean being both of them. I got a message from him pop up too. I was like, fuck's sake, Dean.
I'm on the airplane.
But yeah, so going from training and that being my expectation of what it takes, it could be different now. Who knows? Maybe I could get away with less, but it's really hard for me to believe that I'm doing everything that I need to do if I'm not doing what I was doing before. Because honestly, I feel like I did everything I could and it still wasn't enough. So the only way I could ever feel that I'm going to make any progress is to like do the same or more. Yeah. It could be foolish. I'm older now. I can't recover as fast. So it just kind of has to take a back seat.
I think like me watching rather selfishly, like the 2020 year, and it wasn't just you as well. Like 2020 year, I was annoyed that they took away all those athletes because, you didn't really come back the next year. And I feel like you deserve a shot at the games. And I think you could have done, I'm just trying to big you up here, man. But like, I feel like you could have done a lot of damage. But then also the likes of James Connu, and it's good to see him, like he is back training now, and like he's doing the dad hours stuff, and I know he's working with Nick Reed over at 3216, and it'd be really cool to see him back again, like because he came fifth when they did take 5 back in the day at regionals. He took 5th and he tied with Ben Garrard, and they went and count back, and then Ben Garrard went to the games, and then James Connu, you didn't see him again. And I was like, the likes of you, James, I put Kev in there as well. I know Kev went to the games. I just feel like there was so much more there from you guys, and rather selfishly, I just want you guys all to fucking have another go and get the Kiwis back to the games.
Yeah,
and
I think the thing is, like, it's cool to see Bailey there doing his thing now, and I think there's a few more guys that can do the same, but it's really hard for us locally I think it's really hard for us to believe that we can do it if there's not people out there doing it. And so that was a big motivator for me. Is the only way to push New Zealand CrossFit is for someone to go out there and put themselves out there and show that we can hang with the big dogs. Yeah. And I was really trying to do that. It was tough when we missed out because of 2020, and then the last year that I was on the Torian floor, like so close, but I don't know, man. Like, who knows what's going to happen now from here? Like, I'd love to say that I'd get back onto that floor and give it a crack, but again, like I said, I know what I did to get there, and I'm certainly not doing that.
Yeah. It's all right. You can run your businesses, bro. I'll let you off.
It's like I just have to do something. Like, at least that's keeping me busy. Yeah, I don't know. It keeps me chasing something.
Yeah, no. We have heard from a lot of the guests that the schedules is just relentless on you guys. So, no, that's a fair call. But it's good. Yeah, we do still have the representation through Bailey this year, who did fucking awesome. Yeah, Jamie's still fucking ripping it up over there and consistently getting teams there and doing well with our team. So,
yeah, it's true, man. It's cool, and I think there's a few other people that if they had the right support, they could get there too. Some guys have been a little bit unlucky with injuries, or having to take time off with surgeries. But no, I think there's a few guys that are coming into what I would call their golden years as athletes, like 26, 27, 28. Yeah, and I think that they'll have a few good years in them that we can actually maybe have more than one individual male and individual female at the games. That's my dream, is like not just one Kiwi. Like that's cool, but I'd love to see like a bunch of them there, like a big team.
Yeah, handy. Is it quite cool, almost like a proud dad moment? No, not really, not literally, but like almost like passing the torch onto Bailey, because you've been the man in New Zealand for the longest time, and now see him come up and represent and do fucking well. Is it quite like a proud dad moment almost?
Yeah, it is that thing of like, I think the same with Kev Manuel. That's my feeling with Kev Manuel, is he did this work to like build up this idea in the Kiwis' mind, in my mind at least, that we can hang with them. He smashed it when he went to the games. Yeah. And for me to see that was I guess it created the belief in me that we can do it. Yeah. And so hopefully, I don't know if Bailey feels the same way, or if that's why he's gone as far as he's gone. But yeah, like knowing that Kev did that for me, and now Bailey's doing what he's doing, I just hope that it has something, like what I did. Dean, going again. Sorry.
Answer it, bro. Put him on the spot.
No, I was saying, so yeah, with Bailey, it is one of those kind of things. Like, really, I just want to see someone succeed. I just really, really badly want to see. I did what I could. I've always thought that personally, as an athlete, I'm not the most talented athlete. I just am stubborn as fuck. Yeah. So to see someone who I think is more talented putting in the work and then going and actually execute out on the floor, that's awesome.
Yeah. He sort of reminds me, like, movement-wise, of like when Rich Froning came on the scene, how everything looked how it was supposed to. Like, you see Bailey do a squat snatch, you're like, yeah, that's how it should look.
That's it.
And his work ethic's fucking, second to none. He does, especially the last couple of years. He's been putting in some hard work. And to your point there, where you want to see a team of them go, like even just a Torian, I want to see more New Zealand flags in that final heat, because and it just takes representation from our side. Like I've said his name a few times, but like the likes of Ash Rosendale, like if he just, and I don't really know what his work schedule looks like, like that, but there's no doubt that he could be in that top heat pushing for the podium. He is a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, for sure. It's, there's so many facets to it, I guess. Like, one of the things I think definitely for me and for some of the other athletes that I've talked to is all the sacrifice that you give up, all the things that you give up, all the sacrifices you make in order to get to the position where you can be at Torian or be in the top heat or be in contention to qualify for the games. Like, for me, that was always the thing that made me keep going, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way I'm stopping, because I've basically blunted the business growth for 4 years and taken a shit salary so that I could be an athlete. So when I'm out on the floor dying, I'm like, well, I better make this work,
Yeah, hard up.
Sometimes I don't know if guys have done that. Like, I think sometimes that's the case, is they're very talented, but they maybe they don't have enough skin in the game. And so it's easy to just go, it hurts, I'm going to slow down.
Yeah. That whole like, it's not worth it, I've got things on the outside, rather than I'll make it worth it because I've given up the things on the outside. Yeah. Hard up, man.
Burn the boats.
Yeah, totally, man. I love that saying, like, burn the boats. There's no plan B.
Yeah.
I'm here to like do one thing. I actually had a coach sort of having this, he's chatting with our members and being like, remember, it was before team nationals, and he's giving them a little pep talk and saying, just remember why you're going. Like, go to have fun. Like, was the purpose for you to win an event or to podium and blah, blah, blah. And as he's saying this, I know what he's trying to do. Like, it's good to reframe these things for members because they get caught up in the moment. But honestly, I'm always going to win. Like, that's the only reason why I train and turn up. Yeah. It's not exciting for me if I'm not trying to win.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the exact same. Like, and I'd win fuck all. But I just,
like, you got to be okay with losing, because
I hate it. I hate losing so much, man. Like, it's like, I was at Team Nats on the weekend, and oh man, there's no point getting into it. I don't like losing. I hate it so much. I lose all the time.
Do you know who he hates losing more than himself? England.
Dude, try being an England supporter, man. Like,
I think that's where it comes from.
Right.
Anyway, we don't need
to. Well, at least they won't lose the final because they're not in it. So
anyway, hey, it's been good chatting there, Luke.
Oh, open wound, that one. Damn.
Nah, cool. 3rd and 4th is better anyway.
Final's not for everyone, bro. It's all good.
Oh man.
You can take it from here, Biff.
So what are we on now? What are we on?
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Like, so we went through like the future of the sport, and I think if we look now, if we go into CrossFit Games, obviously is doing their thing. I don't know if people realize this. Fans of the sport, like non-athletes or even some of the athletes, but the direction of CrossFit as a sport, or even as CrossFit affiliates and CrossFit education, there's not a lot of, I say this lightly, but there's not a lot of support from those guys for local stuff. And I think what we're seeing locally is people trying to do their best and grow the sport in the way that they feel it should be done. But I think we're going to see in the next couple of years, it'll change quite a bit as well here. New Zealand CrossFit or New Zealand functional fitness will change quite a lot because of, like the caliber of comps that are coming out, some of the events that we're trying to plan, and some of the events that other guys have built up and already got this good brand and good following. The only thing that I can see happening from here is that comps are going to get really, really high quality, and everyone's going to have these opportunities to compete against the best of the best. And, the goal for us is to try and bring over international athletes and kind of like bring them here and show them what it's like to come to our house. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I don't know why they haven't already. Like, just as a destination, New Zealand's a pretty cool place to be, getting those people over here will be massive. You said something before that I wanted to touch on, like you see the smaller local comps not being around. that's actually something I've never taken into consideration, because that was our bread like 6-7 years ago. It was always like, there's one in Hamilton, H-Town Throwdown. Like, it was huge. I remember like Bailey Martin being there, and you know, I don't know if you ever did that one.
I always wanted to. I never. That didn't line up with my year or something.
Yeah, but it was like, where's that now type thing, and it's like that was massive. But like you say, you've got these bigger ones like NZ Champs coming through, all of DG stuff, the Discipline Games events. They are such huge marquee events now. That those other little ones, you don't need to do them anymore.
If you look at those two, that's like affiliate owners wanting to support the community and maybe generate a little bit of revenue for their gym, and just running it as the side thing. Now what we're starting to see is, in some cases, affiliate owners, but in some cases, non-affiliate owners or people that they don't own a gym at all, running events. And that's what I mean. Like, the quality is going to get higher because the team that we've put together for NZ Champs with Dean and Linda and Pete, our sole purpose as a team is not anything but running events. So, we're meeting up basically like 2 or 3 times a week just to plan out the year of events and make sure every single event runs well. There's no like, oh, hey, if someone changed the toilet roll in the toilet, or like the gym needs them. None of that shit. We don't have to worry about that stuff. It's just about the event.
Yeah.
Speaking of NZ Champs, next weekend, or be this weekend when you're watching, how's the preparation going in for that, bro?
Yeah, really good, man. Like, as with anything, some things have gone perfectly, some things have gone not so well, some things we're just, like building the plane as we fly it. But it's so cool because we've had the run up with cluster 2s early in the year, and cluster 4s in the Gold Coast, learned some things. Then had cluster 3s in Wellington where you guys came and learned a bunch of other things. And now going into NZ Champs, I feel like we've got all of our systems in place. I'm really comfortable in sort of my role, and the other guys are too in their role. Like, we all know where we fit now. And I was just talking to someone this morning actually, and while it's really cool what we've got coming up in the next couple, in 2 weeks' time, we're already planning next year. I'm so excited for next year. Some sick things, like cool venue. I can't say too much, but really, really exciting. And that's like I said, that's the depth that we're going to now. It's like, okay, we've got our plan for this year, and we're just putting all the pieces in place. What about next year? Like, how do we make next year even better?
That's fucking cool. Just on this year's one, what are the workouts, bro?
Triple crossovers and
fuck,
off the bar.
Murph followed by Kalsu.
Fuck, Murph Sue. How about instead of 300 air squats at the end, it's 300 thrusters?
And then every minute.
100 bar muscle ups, 200 bench press, and 300 thrusters.
Well, he's going to give us a workout after this. Don't give him.
Remember that? What was that one at the games they did? Atlantia or something?
Oh, Atlanta. Yeah. That was. Bro.
Some people did that.
Yeah, I did it. I did it the next week.
No way, man.
I did it as a partner workout though. Took me longer than fucking Tia. I was like, oh man.
Half the volume and still got beaten. Yeah.
You guys want to fill me in? Or?
Atlanta. It was 100 handstand press ups, strict handstand press ups, 200 pistols, and then
with the vest.
Yeah. So 100 handstand press ups, 200 pistols, 300 chest to bar pull ups. Or it could have been the other way.
Never.
The numbers might be wrong there, but it was. And then
I think it was.
Yeah, a 1 mile run either side. Yeah.
And like their hands were just like
Haley
blood.
Adams. Her hand was fucked.
Blood exploded on the bar.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
I'm just thinking about the amount of CRC my knees are going to need after those pistons.
yeah, man.
Yeah, that was 2020. That was a COVID year. Yeah.
COVID years.
Yeah. Fuck that year. Luke was going to win it.
I would have tapped out on that workout. But nah.
You want to do fucking what?
Very good. Very good.
Rightio. I think we've waffled on enough here. Like I said, there's probably heaps more we could go into, but we'll hold it here. I'm sure we'll get you on another time anyway, when you're making your resurgence to the games.
Hey man, I feel like I trained this morning. Like, who knows?
He's back.
Whoa.
Hey, get a text tomorrow. Just, I'm sore, bro. I can't train today. Anyway, I said to you, at the beginning that we were going to get a workout off of you. So I'll hand it over to you, mate. What have we got in store?
Okay. So you guys gonna do this today?
No.
Next week. We'll do it next week. We'll do last week's today, and then today's next week type thing.
Okay. So you're probably going to need maybe half an hour, maybe longer, depending on your capacity.
Okay.
Starting off with 2K row.
Yeah.
Just an easy warm up.
Fuck.
And then going into 60 double dumbbell step overs. If you want to RX it, they've got to be 35s. But if you just want to get a nice cruisy workout, 22s.
What's the height of the box?
24 inch.
Fuck. Okay.
24-inch box. And just go 22 and a halves.
Yeah.
And then finish off with 100 cows on the bike.
Assault bike or bike? Oh,
Assault bike.
Sorry,
just a nice grind. I thought it'd be nice. It's just a nice grind. Like sit on there and cruise away.
So go through that just one more time. Fly it on. 2K
row, 60 double dumbbell step overs, 22 and 24-inch box, 100 cal assault bike. Sub 20 is the goal.
Sub 20. Holy. All right. So you got 8 minutes on a row.
Yep.
Fuck. That's people out there going, fuck off, Matt. You know?
I'm just saying, just to give you a carrot to chase, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, and how many step overs did you say? 60, 50, 60? 60 step overs.
8 minutes.
Doing that, and you just got to hang on, eh? You got to hang on to that fucker.
Just hang on.
Yeah.
No grips. No grips, though.
Ah, fuck off, Gilly. Beep that one out, please. Okay. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Sub 20. I don't know about that. Sub 25. We'll give that a nudge.
Yeah, I said no, like 30 minutes. Yeah. I think 30 minutes, you get it done.
Yeah.
I like how you know your intervals. I'm just like, oh yeah, 2K is not that far.
See what happens. Just
go for
it.
8 minutes holding a 2 minute split on that monitor. So yeah, I think you could do that. You definitely settle into that. The step overs, my grip strength is average, man. I really hate it. And I'm so short, the 24-inch box gets so much taller when you're holding onto weights.
You're smashing the dumbbells in the box and stuff.
Fuck yeah. Oh man, I think that's our first chipper style workout we've been given. That's cool.
That's the kind of shit I like, you know, honestly. Like I love those grindy pain cave kind of workouts. So
yeah,
there you go.
Have like an end in sight. Like Ben Fowler's was gnarly, man. It was he got it from Madrid, the championships, and it was you had to accumulate 75 burpees over the bar, but the buy-in was 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. The buy-in was 16 calorie row, 12 thrusters at 40, and then in remaining time, bar facing burpees.
Ooh.
Like I think Travis Mayer got it in 3 rounds.
Yeah, Koski got it as well.
I won't get that in 7 rounds with an empty bar. Like that's.
I'd love to try that. I mean, like if I was fit, I'd love to try that. But
give it a go, man.
What are you up to after this?
I'll give it a go.
Should you record it? Send it to us.
I'll try and forget what you just said about their scores.
Yeah. I did actually want to, before we go, one thing. This year's quarterfinals, you tried to do it. Am I getting this right? This year's quarterfinals or the Open, I can't remember, but you tried to do it in one day, one hit.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, not good.
What was the thought process behind that?
Oh, I guess, honestly, like if I'm being totally honest, I felt like I needed to handicap myself because I knew what was coming. Like I don't have the capacity. I didn't have the capacity that I've had in the past. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I might as well just send it and see what happens. And worst case, I get exactly what I thought, which was I missed the cut. And if by some miracle I make it, well then, cool. I better start training real quick.
How good. Yeah.
Was that also all I remember seeing on your socials is you going ham on some burpee over the bar at the end of a workout. What workout was that?
What workout?
I think it was.
I think it was another story one, and you just went like just sent it for 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, I know the one. That was at a comp. That was at a like a local comp. Jumped in, and it was actually because I was racing Michael Gillum. Like it was me and my partner Emma in a peers workout, peers competition versus Gilly and his wife Alyssa.
Yeah.
And I knew what Gilly got, and I was like, nah, surely I can beat him.
It was like chest hit the ground, then it was just a quick toe touch over the bar, straight to the chest.
It was like, I don't know if I can say this, but like slapping my balls on the ground.
Oh, well, they still work, bro. So.
It's still good.
Oh, so good, man. Hey, thanks a lot for jumping on, having a chat with us. Before we do wrap it up, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out?
Oh, geez, put me on the spot. Now, I definitely want to give a shout out to Dean, Pete, and Linda, business partners with the New Zealand champs. And I don't know if their communities know it or if the wider New Zealand CrossFit community knows it, but those guys worked so hard, and it's been really cool to, prior to getting involved in the events, I didn't really know Pete and Linda, and I had very limited interaction with Dean. And man, like it's crazy how hard they work. So really awesome to be on a team with them. And then also just generally speaking, everyone who's been supportive of NZ champs and the ones that haven't yet, but they will eventually. I want to thank everyone, all the New Zealand CrossFit community.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
How good. Rightio. Luke Fiso, thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Sweet.
Enjoy the rest of your day, mate.
Yeah, you
Easy.
too.
All right, see you, mate. Bye. Catch ya.
See ya.